Red Pill Ideal 101. Single mothers are for recreational use only. Sincerely, your pseudo red pill alpha guru.
And it's competition. All of you ladies are single moms. Guess what? Y'all all in competition with one another.
Sometimes I think,
if we're really speaking facts,
higher up than a girl, who doesn't have any kids. I think some people view single moms as a priority. Ooh, I want to try a single mom. Ooh, I want to get with a single mom. Well, why don't you want to be with a girl your age? Nah, I want to be with a single mom.
For sex.
Okay, but that still has value for men. That's like the only thing that they value.
I mean, trash has value too. You take out the trash every day. Just being honest, right? I'm saying this, right? The thing is, you want these things. Well, who's that?
Did you just refer
Tiara
to single
or
moms
Tiffany?
as trash? No, this is Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes. Say that again. I couldn't hear you. You keep on cutting in and out.
Between single moms and trash? Was there
No. Recreational use only. Recreational use only. That's the correlation. So what I'm saying is, you keep cutting in and out. I'll let you speak. Go ahead. Because you keep cutting in and out. Go ahead. Say what you was going to say.
No, you're about to get into recreational use, and was there a correlation between recreational use and single moms?
Okay. No, that was an example. So she was talking about, Michelle was talking about, well, guys out there, this and this. There's guys out there that, want single moms. It's like Michelle, are you talking about guys that don't have kids and they just want to be with single moms?
Yeah, guys that don't have kids.
So think about it. There's
pursuing somewhat of a, relationship, or if it's just sex. But, to continue having sex with a single mom, you have to have somewhat a relationship with her. You still have to be on her good side, because she's not going to have time for you.
I see what you're saying now, Michelle. Okay. I would say for sure. There's guys that have fetishes and, they want, a BBW, they want a single mom, they want a girl that, does gymnastics or something, or a foot fetish. Yeah, there's guys that have these tendencies to want things. That's fine. I'm just saying, here's what I'm saying, Michelle, to give you an answer to what you're saying. I agree. Maybe there are some guys that only want to date single moms. I'm saying that those guys only want to date them for sex only if they don't have any kids.
That's all guys want to use any women for any time. What I'm saying is single moms are not subpar to a hot 19-year-old who's single and who doesn't have any kids. Because there are guys who...
To a man that doesn't have kids, it's a totally different thing, Michelle. A man that doesn't have any kids, he doesn't want to, what's the benefit for him to be taking care of a woman?
Maybe experience. They love single moms because they have experience.
No, men are different. Men, we don't really look for experience.
Yeah.
If we're looking at experience, that's still looking from recreational use only. So here's what confusion happens. Let me clear the air real quick, because Tiff, you confused. Michelle, you confused too. Let me give you the reality of men. Men are sexual creatures and lustful creatures much more than you. We have 17 times more testosterone than women. So dudes want to clap cheeks. If you ever go on Pornhub, you can't say the P, put the P in front of it, but Pornhub, if you ever go on one of these sex sites, right, Pornhub, there's all these weird different categories that men like to watch. You know why? It's because niggas be weird, right?
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is that you don't want to be the woman that's saying that has, you don't want to get a man that has a weird nigga fetish. Why would you want that? Why would you want a dude that has this fetish for a single mom?
We all
That fetish that he has, you'll just be satisfying his fetish by sleeping with him, nothing else. He's not going to look for anything long term, and he doesn't have kids. He's just not. Like, there's a low probability to get a guy that's single and don't have kids, and for that man to actually take you seriously other than just sex. Now, it could be a situation where you get with a man, you got kids, and you're having sex, and then he knock you up too. And then, all right, he got a kid by a single mom. There's always exceptions to the rule, but he still doesn't want to take you seriously. Or maybe you trapped him with a baby, and then he's like, Dan, I gotta stay with her. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe he likes it and he wants to stay.
Yeah, but that's... Wait, hold on, let me bring up...
He trapped me.
Maybe
TT,
he
I
likes
got
it
you,
and
my
he
bad.
wants to stay because it's good.
That's
Single mom.
Well, listen.
He's like,
I'm
I
not
like
here
it
to
here.
tell you... Yeah, I'm not here to tell you that... Here's the thing, right? I'm not here to tell you that, nothing is possible. Anything is possible. That's just the reality of life. Anything is possible. I'm here to tell you that to not fall into the delusion of focusing on the exception. The exception doesn't make the rule, right? Like, generally speaking, when you're speaking to men and the men that you want, like these guys have options, they don't got no single mom fetish and don't got no kids. Like, you're talking about a guy with no kids, but he has the single mom fetish. This isn't gonna be a man of integrity. Like, that's a low probability that he's gonna have some integrity but still have this fetish for single mom. It's a low probability that he's gonna have this dope lifestyle that you want, or be a leader and a protector and having this fetish for a single mom. Yeah, it's a probability, but normally the guys that would have some weird fetishes that only want something weird, they're probably in their mom's basement whacking off all day and eating ice cream. There's not the guys that you're attracted to. You get what I'm saying?
Now that statement, I would not say that it's completely false. There is some truth to it, however. I will say that, but it's not fully generalized. It's not in every single case. As you mainly know, every single mother has their own unique scenarios and how they got to their position. And also take note, there are literally some hardcore douchebag dudes that come by and also create more than a single mom epidemic, having reckless one-night stands, accidental pregnancy, not actually holding themselves accountable, being like responsible fathers. So they put those moms in very vulnerable positions as well. And sometimes, relationships actually do falter off during the time of pregnancy also as well. These things can also happen to the point why these single mothers are in those positions literally currently at that point.
It's not in a man's best interest to take care of you and the kid.
I'm not asking him to take care of my kid.
But he's inevitably going to have to step in that role if he takes you seriously.
I would give the same advice to a single mom that I would give to somebody asking me a question about like starting a business or something, okay? If somebody comes to you and they're like, hey, I want to do this, like, will I be successful? There's always one question that you ask this person. What are you offering to whatever world you want to get in that nobody else can get? And if you don't know the answer to that immediately, and you want to be talent, you want to be a content creator, you want to be an influencer, you want to be a small business, if you don't have an answer to that immediately, you need to go back to the drawing board. If you don't even know what people will go to you for that is above and beyond the competitors, then why would anybody go to you? What are you offering that's so much better than a woman that is the same as you but doesn't have a kid? So if you're a single mom, you can do it. You have to work a lot harder than somebody that isn't.
Yeah.
There's a reason why men like young, attractive girls, because men want a girl that's coachable, that's younger, that doesn't come with baggage.
So a girl with a kid can't be coachable.
Probably not, because here's the thing. She has a child. She's going to have allegiance to her baby daddy to some degree. So I'm not going to have 100% authority, but I'm going to have 100% responsibility over that child.
Now, some women plan to have kids without the ring. I can say that. There are some women that have accidental pregnancies also without the ring as well. And there are some women that are married and end up getting pregnant but had unfortunate divorces that's got them in that position as well. Now, also note sexual assaults, rape, right? If a woman is definitely raped and she ends up actually having a baby and that child is a product of that rape, would she be recreational use as well? That's another factor that you also have to actually point out into it as well when it comes to those types of statements. Now, here's the reality and the practicality of the situation. Okay. There are some single mothers that do want to be for recreational use. That's for sure. There are some single moms that definitely have matured from their experiences due to the fact that, the pregnancy definitely has humbled them in many ways, more likely not, and they're literally forced to grow up and are forced to mature at a faster rate than they actually probably want to, where they like it or not, due to the fact that they now have a womb or a child to take care of as well. There's also that angle, and there are some cases where like some of these single moms, aren't definitely for recreational use at all. They definitely should be avoided due to the fact that some of them are literally toxic minded and irresponsible. The fact where she's a single mom or basically just single all with or without kids, if they have that toxic mindset, that recreational use is like highly risky, because God forbid, say you use that woman for recreational use and she has a narcissistic toxic mindset. God forbid, what if she sets you up? Or if she's a man up for like false allegations or false rape charges, or pin a baby that's not even yours and actually make you believe that you were the one that did it. You haven't actually done the DNA test. You actually were gullible about it, and you believe it right from the jump without verification. Those things could also happen as well. Now, this is not to say this. I'm not saying this to excuse single mothers for their behavior, because yes, they should be holding accountable for the mistakes that they've made when it comes with like accidental pregnancies or oopsie pregnancies, or due to the fact that they're basically reckless with their womb. I'm not excusing them for that. I'm not saying those things at all. What I'm basically trying to explain is it's not a one size fits all situation. You know what I'm saying? There are some women that do eventually mature for sure, and there are some women that definitely have not matured. And I know close friends who are single moms. Okay, I have coworkers that are single mothers themselves as well. So I can relate these types of things. I've personally hooked up with single mothers. Okay, I've witnessed toxic single mothers come by. I've met them, dated them, hooked up with them. I've known certain types of single moms that mainly came about. So again, this is not like a full one size fits all thing. You know what I mean? You actually have to know your cues, you gotta know your surroundings, you gotta actually know the mindset of that particular person, whether or not, that person is really worth being around. Now, I will give this, I understand why Kevin Samuels basically just warned a lot of the men, if you have no kids as a man, you should not be dating any single mothers that actually have children, because I understand why I would say that, because you don't know what the mindset of that dad is. You don't know if those kids are actually going to really fully bond you. A lot of these things will really have to fall into place just for you guys to actually mainly stay together. And at the end of the day, those children or children are the number one priority. If they're actually mainly stressed out just because 2 y'all together, more than likely that relationship will falter off. So these are the things they literally have to actually try to focus on. That they'll more than likely you will have to actually provide for those kids, since the man's more than likely is not around, and God knows, God forbid if he passes away, or God forbid he's in jail. That burden, you're gonna have to deal with all that heavy burden that you're gonna have to be dealing with. Now, this is not to say that this cannot be done, but it's a huge, huge, huge risk. Now, if that child or children definitely bonds with you, with definitely your language, and actually enjoy your environment, and they actually enjoy being around you, and the mom is actually very interested in you and not using you, why not? But again, that comes with a risk, and at the end of the day, it's definitely your final decision of whether or not you actually do feel comfortable moving forward with that type of particular relationship. Now, I'll say this. It's very, very funny how David Cooney here will definitely actually just generalize all single mothers and they belong to recreational use, but yet homeboy's a single dad in a serious relationship with a single mom that's supposed to be for recreational use only, according to him. His words, not mine. But the practicality of that situation, all of this, it all depends on the mindset of that particular woman, and basically on the mindset of that single mother, whether or not she has matured, or whether she doesn't want to deal with too much of that emotional commitment, as she chooses to stay for recreational use only, due to the fact that she does not want to have that much of the most commitment that can actually drain her or traumatize her.
Yeah, and I would also say that when guys date single mothers or they marry single mothers or they wife them up, whatever, they are making a compromise. When a guy marries a single mother, this is just me, but that guy's beta. That is a beta male adaptive mating strategy. It's solving your reproductive problem. What that says is I can't find or get with a girl who doesn't have any baggage, doesn't have any children, but here's this other girl. My sexual opportunities are few and far between, but here's this single mom who really needs me. And I'm going to be not the stepdad, but the dad who stepped up. I don't care. I'll adopt her kids. I love them. They love me too. And again, maybe that morally and ethically, that's a good thing. Practically, it's the same as going to college and getting a useless degree.
Now, for those of you men that choose to actually want to get with single moms or even want to actually be in serious relationship with single mothers, whether you have a child or not, definitely in my opinion, I think it would be best if single fathers definitely link up with single mothers. But if you're a single man with no children, and if you actually try and link up with a single mom that shows interest in you, just understand you're really dealing with a high risk, possible high reward or high backfiring scenario. Very mostly likely at the time, around the vast majority of the time actually, depending on the situation that mom is in, depending on the situation of those childs, and also varies depending on the type of co-parent that the mom is dealing with, previous sex, whatever it may be, what's the mentality of the dad, what's the mentality of those children. Those things mainly factor in as well. How many children does that single mom have as well? And of those children, were those children actually been made by the same father, or did he have multiple children by multiple men? Okay. So, if you're dealing with a woman that has multiple children by multiple men, it's a huge no-no. And the reason being is because you're dealing with multiple dudes that actually impregnated that same woman with multiple personalities. You don't really know what mindset that they mainly have, and you don't know what the mindsets of the children are mainly gone in regards to that. So with that, when you're dealing with single moms and you're dealing with possible kids, there's a protocol that you actually have to be dealing with that actually goes about it. Just make sure things mainly run smoothly. You have to make sure that everything mainly thoroughly falls into place to actually make sure that relationship actually is fully attained, as long as both you and her are co-aligned with one another and co-aligned with the same missions and main goals, and actually how to raise those kids and how to actually try and find a way to allow that woman to properly co-parent with the child that they have and make sure that they have that one blended family they mainly have, given the legal situation, given what's going on today. Now I want to try and give you some steps to actually tell you how to go about it. Now, step 1, if you're looking to be in a serious relationship with that single mom, the first that you have to let her know is that you definitely let her know that you want to meet that child's father. You know what I'm saying? You want to actually try and get to know that child's father. The reason being because you want to try and get to know his disciplinary methods, what methods that he used to actually discipline those children. And also, that single mother has to allow you to discipline her to in order for this stuff to work. Otherwise, it's just going to be hell on earth, and you're going to be mercy within the criminal justice system. You know what I'm saying? This is really, really important that you try and get that down. Now, if she refuses, it's best to literally walk away and literally move on from that particular woman. If the father, if the child's father refuses to actually come and see you or has some issues and his ego gets up in the way, definitely consider also walking away from the situation as well. Because at the end of the day, it basically shows you what her mindset is on at the time whenever she was in that relationship, whenever she procreated with that man, as to how he had those children up in the first place. You know what I'm saying? That's how risky it is. Also, another angle that she deal with, if you actually go through these checkpoints and the father, that father actually allows you to actually discipline in the same way that he has towards his children. Whenever the children get out of line, and then all of a sudden they start acting up, the children can lie and say, "Oh, he hurt me, he abused me." You know, they can actually call child protective services or actually try to let the teachers know about what happened, and that happy home could get broken up as well. That's another angle that a lot of people don't actually see as well. Whenever they actually come down to school and they tell you teachers about what's going on, when then like and they see no one speaking as abuse, they can actually cry to the teachers about that. They can tell them where they're located. They can bring therapists around. It can cause a lot of chaos mainly down the line, and that's another drawback. Whenever things actually just don't go far into place, or whenever the child could be actually manipulated in ways as well, and it all comes back to the mindset of those children, of at least one child. You know what I'm saying? It's even worse if the single mom has multiple children. It's worse when she has multiple children by multiple men. That is why it's extremely risky for you to be dating single moms. And I can fully understand the history as why, like a lot of people up in the pseudo red pill community mainly practice about recreational use only, is because of those instances. Not to say that I actually fully agree with it, and it's definitely not practical, but I understand the history behind it. You know what I'm saying? If those things aren't fully met, and if you actually try to take these things into your hands, given the current climate that we are currently in now, in 2024, it's all hell breaks loose. And if that parent, that single mom, doesn't allow you to actually discipline her children, you are definitely screwed. And that relationship you're dealing with is literally going to be all for naught. And also, I want to try and literally point out as well, if you're dealing with somebody and, you know, say you actually marry that single mom and you actually just try to let all these things be and she does respect you, truly love you, you're being used at that point. And at that point, at the end of the day, you know, it shows how toxic that woman mainly really is, with or without children, based on her mindset on what men she chose to deal with, and how she actually trying to look for a rebound without actually trying to dig deeper in herself as self-reflection on how she can be literally a better person socially. You know what I mean? That's literally like a reflection on her end. It's a piss poor reflection on her end, given her natures. When she doesn't really truly respect you, wants to use you to actually take care of the kids and everything else, while she doesn't do her own bit and make sure she actually handles her own stuff in regards to her children. She doesn't respect you. She does not love you. You know what I mean? She's definitely a toxic person that you need to stay away from. So yes, in closing, every single mom is different. And if everything mainly falls into place and the kids definitely put trust in you, even if you have no kids, when things actually do run smoothly, you know, why not? Now, in my case, when I was up basically overseas and actually hooking up with a single mom who doesn't even fully know the English language, number one, I was at a disadvantage with that. And number two, she has two kids that actually speak Spanish as well. And I wasn't really feeling comfortable actually dealing with this whole deal. Should I even commit to this type of woman that actually dealt with these things? Because he has those two children with an ex without the ring on it. And the disadvantage is, you know, you're dealing with someone that's actually has a different language that's actually yet to fully learn English. So that was the other disadvantage that I had as well. So it was like a lose-lose situation for me. That's why I never moved forward with it. You know what I'm saying? I can actually explain these types of things to you in regards to it, because I was in that position before. I've seen that plenty of times. I've seen certain mindsets of single moms and how they mainly get down. So I can give you like a big heads up on why a lot of times dating single moms is like a very, very huge risk, even though not all single mothers are for recreational use only. And some, you know, could be so really toxic, they just not worth the recreational use at all. You know, so this is one I'm trying to point all this stuff out there. You know, I understand the history behind that theory, but at the same time, we have to be really, really practical about certain mindsets and trying to let people know that it's not, especially young men know, especially men without kids know, that it's not a one-size-fits-all thing when it comes to single mothers.
Those guys will go, oh, you'll never be the priority. You know, the kids will always come first. It's like, true if she has low interest in you. If she's head over heels in love with you, women will disown their kids. That's why you see women that work in prisons breaking guys out of prisons that they fall in love with or having affairs with these criminals, because the criminals are good at manipulation and pushing their buttons emotionally. It's if you got a good quality woman and she's got good character, good morals, she's loyal, she's faithful. It's like if you keep her head over heels in love with you, it's like she'll be putty in your hands. She'll be very submissive. She'll trust your masculine core, and she will put you and your relationship as a priority over her children, because your relationship has to be solid if you're going to be a united front with the kids, because kids are always testing the boundaries and seeing what they can get away with and trying to work a wedge in between mom and dad. And mom says no, then they go to dad. Dad says no, they go to mom. And they're very good at manipulating. And if you got a good quality woman and you know how to keep her in love, if you follow what's in my book, 3% Man, that won't be an issue for you. So, but like I said, character's destiny. If she's belongs to the streets, it's like can't turn a hoe into a housewife. And a lot of the guys in the red pill community, unfortunately, ones that have pretty big audiences, a lot of them are wounded little boys that are they're men, but inside they're a bunch of little wounded little boys, and so they got burned once by a single mom because they did a shitty job of vetting her, or they didn't do any job of vetting her, and then it's like all women suck.